rallied a little bit incorrectly. I think all of them rallying into the bunch of queens, getting a little bit slaughtered. The ground upgrades right now 2 armor, whereas the Terran has, I believe, 1 or 2. Let's see what they have exactly. 2-1 upgrades for the Terran air, whereas the Zerg has 0-2 upgrades, or 2-2 upgrades, I believe. Let's see. 2-2 upgrades, yes, for the ground forces. For the melee, and we see the 3rd weapon upgrade and the 2nd armor upgrade for the Vikings underway, as well as the Behemoth reactor, which will allow him to shoot the Yamato gun and charge up more energy. Plus 25 energy, the other one is the Yamato gun. And we see LiquidTLO trying to grab the base once again, but being denied by DIMAGA. His relentless attacks of his queens. I don't think he's lost 1 or 2 queens at all. I mean, this seems like the pack of queens that they started with, and he might be able to take down this command center with rolling queens, but ooh, those queens are very, very slow off of creep, and the command center does float away without any problems. Right now, if we take a look at the unit counting station, we see a lot of air units, 10 Vikings, 2 battlecruisers, and we see a lot of queens, a lot of battling, so mostly ground versus mostly air. But what the story of this game has been the excessive amount of expansion that DIMAGA has, and he's able to keep up with this incredible air force that is very, very upgraded. It's 2-2 upgraded right now versus a 2-2 upgraded ground force, but these Zerglings cannot hit air, and he's going to try to take down some overlords, and he does supply block DIMAGA. Once again, he might be able to slow him down a little bit, but if we take a look at the army count, both players are about even. There's a 10 difference, but a lot of these overlords are going to go down, but if we take a look at the income, there is a significant advantage for LiquidTLO, as he does have 2 bases fully saturated, whereas DIMAGA does not have his bases saturated. Additional upgrades going up for these Vikings and battlecruisers at the moment, and he's lost a couple of queens there to focus firing, and he can't transfuse fast enough. But I think that will allow him to buy some time to get some correct units, and maybe some Hydralisks or additional anti-air defenses in some form or another. Ooh, this battlecruiser is awfully close to death. It does run a lot of Zerglings and Bailings into the base of LiquidTLO. Both players exchanging very, very heavy blows right now, not really defending, all on offense. And he's going to try to take down this hatchery. If he sets those Vikings on the air again, he will be able to supply block him. There is a tremendous amount of overlords has spawned. And inside the base of LiquidTLO, a lot of action. He's taken down quite a bit of the structures. I think he took down 1 starport and a factory, I believe. And we see action all over the map, and we do see a couple of Vikings over here with 1 battlecruiser. The lower HP battlecruiser currently being repaired by 3 mules. Very, very smart play there. And these Zerglings will be able to take down the mules, but they are no match for the battlecruiser. You should probably lift these Vikings, and he does lift the Vikings just in time, sniping another overlord. Almost supply block again. If he kills more of these overlords, he will be able to supply block DIMAGA again, forcing him to waste more minerals and eggs on those units he might not want, but he is forced to make because of the kill more overlords. Do it. Kill more overlords. And we see now a lot of Hydralisks are coming into battle. We'll be able to push this battlecruiser into oblivion and force these units back. And will he be able to snipe off this 1 more battlecruiser? Battlecruiser desperately trying to run away. 333 upgrades for the Air Force, whereas the Ground Force has only 2 armor, no missile attack upgrades just yet. A lot of melee attack. I think it's 2-2 melee. And LiquidTLO is working on DIMAGA's hatchery and does take it down. He can probably also take down this Hydralisk then and prevent him from making additional Hydralisks. At the moment, awfully supply block, only 18 supply there for a couple of moments, as a lot of overlords are currently being spawned, but DIMAGA has this gold expansion for quite some time, so he's actually not so far behind in minerals. If we take a look at the income tab, he's actually quite ahead because he has his gold expansion, now forcing this army back with his army of Hydralisks, and he might be able to snipe off this 1 battle cruiser if he wants to. And now DIMAGA's finally getting the +1 range attack because he realizes a lot of the Zerglings aren't doing too much against the ground forces, and that last battle cruiser was charging up the Yamato gun, but was not able to get off that last shot. Every little bit of micro does count in this high level play, and we do see right now LiquidTLO in a bit of trouble as he's getting his base surrounded. His last mining base is getting surrounded. There is no overseer here, so we cannot see the Banshees. DIMAGA cannot see these 2 Banshees. That is pushing the forces of DIMAGA away. this one expansion not building SCVs, as he does not have that many minerals. He really needs to grab some additional forces. He's really hurting economically, whereas DIMAGA is doing pretty well at the moment. Having a particular look at the army side, both players are about the same, but the army count is relatively same, even though the resource is very, very different. And LiquidTLO is now working on the extractor of DIMAGA, and DIMAGA is trying to take down. Ooh, he does snipe one of the Banshees, and right now Zerglings and Hydrolus are working on the side, and these Vikings, they want to land, but they don't really want to land. They're not quite sure what to do, just running back and forth, and one Overseer does come over, and you will be able to see those two Banshees, and it does go down to the fire of these Vikings. 33 upgrades, and we do see a lot of long distance mining for LiquidTLO. Very, very sad at running out of minerals. Zerglings and Hydrolus are running closer and closer. I think they really want to take down this Destructible Rocks because he realizes his opponent is running out of minerals. He's on 2 gas, 1 base on gold, 1 base on regular minerals, and these Hydrolus are going to be able to run in here and take down a couple of Vikings. I think it was 3 or 4, and this Overseer a little bit in the back will get vision of this Banshee. And now the SCVs are running the other way because the distance between this mineral patch and this base is actually shorter than the distance between that mineral patch and his home base. And there's only 1 battlecruiser and a lot of SCVs repairing it. Because the SCVs are repairing it, he's taking a significant hit to his income, but this base is getting a little bit saturated with SCVs, but not quite actually moving. We do see 3 SCV just idle there for a moment, both building refineries just now. A lot of mules has been called down to mine for him to make up a little bit of the mineral differential for a minute there, so we will see a little bit of an advantage for LiquidTLO, but that is very temporary. As one of those mules go down, they will not have that advantage anymore. If we take a look at the unit counting station, he did lose a lot of SCVs to that long distance mining running back and forth, 29 to 43, and he's only building additional SCVs right now, and this SCV is not, this command center is not queued up to the correct location, and we're going to see another push for these Hydrolus running across the map with only 1-2 upgrades versus 3-3 upgrades, but these battlecruisers are vastly outnumbered, but they do take around 5-6 of the Hydrolus before the Hydrolus even begin to start shooting at the battlecruisers, and the battlecruisers are going down. 2 of them went down, the last one's going to go down relatively soon to the focus fire of the Hydrolus. And man, he's making more and more battlecruisers, but I don't think battlecruisers is the answer to mass Hydrolus, as his opponent does have around 26 Hydrolus, whereas he only has 2 Vikings, 4 tanks somewhere. 4 tanks are going to be holding his choke and his main base, but he has no source of income except for this island that is mining gas at the moment. Very, very desperate for additional income. If we take a look at the income tab right now, 60 minerals being mined per minute. Oh man, oh man. Versus about 500, almost 10 times as much for DIMAGA. And DIMAGA has a huge force of the Hydrolus. It's quite amazing what DIMAGA has done this game. He has managed to control the air with just ground units and queens and a lot of very, very good transfuses. Oh boy, I love this game. And we see maybe a push coming on very, very soon. The tanks do siege up, and they are within range, and they will tear all 6 of these Hydrolus to shreds within a matter of seconds. Additional Hydrolus not wanting to engage, and these tanks are pushing a little bit forward. They are on siege at the moment, but they do back off. And right now, additional Zerg is being produced by DIMAGA and hurting income. LiquidTLO cannot really produce that many units, as he does not have that many SCVs to mine, and therefore he cannot produce. The tank line's range is over here with these white dotted lines. They're trying to creep slowly to this base and grab it, but 1 hatchery is already up. Additional Zerglings being produced, and we might see a large battle here. I think DIMAGA really wants to deny LiquidTLO this base, because if he denies him that base, he might be able to finish off this game to his liking. We see a lot of Hydrolus, a lot of Zerglings gathering over here. 2-2 and 2-1 upgrades. 1-2 upgrades for the Hydrolus. We might see a push very shortly. I don't believe these Hellions have their upgrades. Those upgrades would vastly help this encounter against the army of Hydrolus and Zerglings, and they're moving into position, splitting into 3 different groups, and now we're going to charge onto these tanks. One of these tanks are on siege, and LiquidTLO realizes it is good game. what a great series between these two players. This is game number 2. Hope to see you guys at game number 3. Remember, always GG your games, and if you don't want to GG your games, at least say GG your face. He really needed more workers there. Until next time, later.